All right. Hello, we have a couple of people in the chat already. Hello and welcome. Trying to get my cinnamon to stand up. I'm just using a little candle holder to hold up my cinnamon stick. I think the stick might be a little bit too skinny to stay, but that's all right. So I'm going to wait for a couple more of you to join the chat. I see we have 8 already. Hello and welcome to everybody who is here. Excuse me. Oh, we have Marty and Constance. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the chat. I'm excited about this reading too. I am a little bit spaced out at the moment. I'm trying to sort of get back into the body. I just finished a meditation with Archangel Michael, which is really exciting. I like this channel called Ask Angels with Melanie Beckler, and she has a very wonderful connection to all these different angelic beings. And so what I was listening to was kind of a channeled message from the Archangel Michael, and I took a few minutes to just rest and breathe and meditate, and I really, really feel like I am like plugged in and ready for this. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I realized on a different stream that I wasn't meditating as often as I would like to. And I'm grateful that you guys were really, understanding and open-minded, not judging or whatever. And so it felt very, very good to get back into that meditative state. All right, so who do we have in the chat? We have Melinda, we have Rose, Sammy, Vernie, Brenda, and Amy. I'm sure we have lots of other people, and hello and welcome. All right, sorry about that. I just want to see if I have a lighter around here somewhere. Usually I have a ton. I used to have a big thing of matches, but I'm out. I wanted to light my cinnamon stick and maybe a silver candle to invite in Archangel Michael, but at the same time, I know that he's already here because he's present with us all of the time. So if I can't find my lighter, no big deal. I do have lots of crystals here. I know these are just tools. I know I don't need the candle. I don't need the crystals in order to invoke his presence, but I do like to have those things. But that's okay. We're going to get out some pretty crystals today. I still do not know what this one's called. If somebody knows, please tell me, because I can never remember. I look it up and then I find it and I go, oh yes, I'll remember, and then I forget. I really, really love this particular crystal. It reminds me of sugar. My camera did just focus on it. Let's see if we can get it to... That's okay. It focused there for a second. It reminds me of sugar. I really do love this crystal. Especially in my early days of doing this work, I would always have this one on my table because it helped me with mediumship. Of course, I have my big old rose quartz. And where is... Here, I have my amethyst. Now, funny thing about the rose quartz and the amethyst. Oh, I should put them this way so you guys can see. The rose quartz and the amethyst. I don't remember which one I bought first, but I realized that you can put them together. And it sort of makes a little heart shape. I don't believe in coincidences and accidents when it comes to little things like that. Yeah, this crystal, it reminds me of snow. It does. You're right, Constance. When you're outside and the sun just kind of shines on the snow just the right way so that it's all sparkly and it's beautiful. I hate being cold, but I can appreciate how pretty the winter is, usually. Just Anna saying spirit quartz, question mark. Is that what this one might be? I can never remember. So somebody out there knows what it's called. And if you know, please let me know and I'll write it down so that I don't forget. I always forget what this one is called. All right. Anyways, I will get some cards out. However, this is kind of interesting. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, oh, what cards do I want to use? You know, because last time when we spoke with Metatron, we used the Angel's Tarot. This time, I kind of felt like Archangel Michael was telling me that I do not need cards, that he wants for me to do this without them. And this is kind of scary to me. Maybe not scary, but it's outside of my comfort zone because, yes, I do practice a bit of channeling, but usually I have tarot cards on hand for additional information. Oh, you guys are saying that this is called spirit quartz? Spirit quartz. Somebody else is saying white Jersey quartz. Spirit quartz. Okay, I'm just going to call it spirit quartz then. All right. Now, you guys had a lot of wonderful questions in the community tab for Archangel Michael. And so I have, how many did I write? 6. I have 6 things. So the first thing we're going to ask him about is, I want him to tell us a little bit about himself. Renee's saying, don't be scared. He's easy to channel. You know, it's interesting. Like I've channeled I've channeled Metatron a little bit. I've channeled in the past, possibly Orion or it was either Orion or Uriel. I can't remember which one. And I've channeled like people that I've done medium readings for. I just can't remember if I've specifically tried channeling Archangel Michael. So this will be really fun. So first, I wanted him to tell us a bit about himself. What is his role as an archangel? I know he has many, many roles, but you know, some of his main roles. What is his personality like? What are his favorite tasks? I also wanted to ask him for advice for humans during challenging times. Another question was, I want his perspective on sickness and healing. And this one was interesting because during the meditation I was doing, I was thinking about, you know, the questions I was going to ask and stuff like that. And he actually gave me kind of an answer to question 3 already. And so when we get there, I did make sure to write it down what he told me. So I will tell you, and then we'll see if he has additional information. And then another question was, will people ever transcend the need for spoken language? I'm sorry, just going to, is that better for lighting? That feels better. All right. Will people transcend the need for spoken language? Because a few of you had questions that were kind of similar to that. Then number 5 was, do you spend time with other angels and deities? And then number 6 is, what do you like most about humans? All right. So I'm going to take a second to get back into this zone. Take some deep breaths. This is so weird that I am doing this without cards. I'm actually really, really excited. So Archangel Michael, I do feel like you are here, you're present, you've kind of been waiting here the entire time. He's saying, he's kind of got a sense of humor. He's saying like, yep, I've been waiting the entire time for the stream, but he's also saying I've been waiting for you this entire time, like me, my entire life, pretty much, like waiting for me to pay attention to him. So Archangel Michael, tell us a bit about yourself. What is your personality like? I am the embodiment of love and courage. There are many others like me. We all belong to the one same singularity. I am a feeling of balance, of strength, discernment, and wisdom. It's kind of fun. He has such a good, this is harder to express in words because it's more of a feeling, but he has such a good energy. He's very, very gentle. I'm just going to relay to you guys the feelings that I have just being tuned in with him. He's extremely patient. He's often depicted as really tough, and he's depicted often as a fighter, but he doesn't necessarily consider himself to be a fighter. I'm hearing protector of the realm, of our realm, our temporary realm, this earth. He's one of many guardians, protector of humanity. He doesn't consider himself a fighter, though, but more of a defender, perhaps. His energy is just very mellow. I don't know why I didn't expect this from him. I guess maybe I expected him to be more intense and more serious. But he's really friendly. Something that he is kind of showing me is that he wants me to think of him as perhaps like a big brother type, somebody who is just like a big brother, or somebody that you would look up to as sort of like a big brother figure. Somebody who's just really sweet, calm, caring, protective, but when he needs to be tough, then he will. Though he still doesn't consider himself a fighter. Okay, so then what is your role? What is your role as Archangel? What kind of things do you do? And I'm picking up right away. We all have much of the same role. I'm seeing this kind of imagery like overlap. It's not that one entity is responsible for one thing, another responsible for another. We all share a common goal and a common responsibility. I expend my energy and I use my efforts to protect. I'm being shown something. I think this is the dream realm because it's just some really dreamy, like fuzzy kind of imagery. And he's here and he's literally cutting away. Oh, wow. It's almost like he's like a guide. We're going through the jungle now. He's a guide. He has the machete. He's chopping away at all the brush and all of the thick vegetation and stuff so that we can keep trekking our way through the jungle. He's saying the jungle in its density is representative of our lives on Earth. Earth is incredibly dense energetically. We become so used to it, having been born into human bodies, having grown up in human bodies, and having become accustomed to them. We don't realize how heavy this life and this existence can be. It makes us stronger, though, because now what he's showing me is the image of somebody. What is that called? They're on the weight bench. Is it bench pressing? Whatever. They're doing the weights up and down like this. They're laying on the bench. And this weight, this density, I mean, it makes the muscles stronger. Now, this spiritual or this energetic density that we're constantly dealing with on Earth, that makes our spirit stronger. It makes our soul stronger. And he's kind of a guide helping us cut through like these dense, thick trees and vegetation in this jungle, I suppose. That's a good analogy. I like how he's put that we call life. He's showing me a giant pair of scissors. You know, kind of like those ceremonial scissors where they cut the ribbon when they, unveil a new building or something exciting like that. I'm seeing something like this, and he's saying that he's the one who wields essentially these big scissors and ribbons. I'm seeing them as ribbons, but I think we can consider them spiritual ties, emotional ties, energetic ties. We can ask him to go in and cut away the ties that do not serve us any longer. He's saying that if a bond with somebody does need to be there still because maybe the spiritual contract between you and another person is not quite up, he's saying that he cannot cut away ties until it is. Now, the word he's using is safe. He's saying that because it's a word that we understand, safe to do so. When the soul contract with somebody else is up, then he can go through and, okay, snip. He wants to show us an exercise in cutting away attachments. And we're going to do this right now. So everybody is going to take a deep breath, or 2 or 5. And we're going to visualize ourselves standing on a beach at the edge of the water. And now tied to, it can be tied to the dock, tied to a big rock, tied to whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. But I'm being shown the image of a dock. There's a raft tied to this dock. And on this raft, to me, this is just, he's showing it to me this way, perhaps so I understand. It looks like literally a pile of garbage. He's saying this pile of garbage represents our old baggage emotionally that we no longer need, that no longer helps us. We don't need to be in that survival mode anymore. So it's okay to release. It can be old habits on this raft. I'm being shown, he's showing me now. I think it's just so I understand. And because I can use myself as an example comfortably, my own personal baggage on this raft. Some of the garbage is representing my fear of stepping out of my comfort zone. Some other garbage is representing trauma that I've been through and certain toxic individuals that no longer served me. Some more of this garbage represents some of my own behaviors and attitudes that were unhealthy and unhelpful. Some of the garbage represents some of my other fears and insecurities. He's saying, now it's all piled up onto the raft. We take a deep breath. We look at this. We say, Archangel Michael, I give you permission to cut the ties. Now visualize the raft floating off into the distance, further and further away from you until it's just a tiny little dot on the horizon. On this horizon, it seems as though the garbage, so to speak, that we've just gotten rid of is being transformed. I like to call this spiritual recycling. Being transformed. Our pain is being transformed into wisdom or compassion or empathy. And it's being transformed by spirit. It's now outside of our hands, outside of the realm of our worries. So now I want to ask, what is your favorite task? That's what I'm going to ask you, Archangel Michael. What is your favorite thing to do? He says that all of it is worthwhile. Favoritism is kind of a human concept. But he's saying, but if I must choose, I'm being shown that jungle imagery again with his machete, and he's chopping through the dense like vines and trees and branches, trying to help us to clear the path in our lives, or to clear the path of what will be best for us, our highest interest. He loves helping to set people on the right track. And now this imagery that he's showing me, this does come in a lot when I do like spiritual work, or sometimes with clients and stuff, when it comes to being shifting onto like a more helpful path. He's showing me the image of a record playing, and it's kind of skipping. It's having trouble. Now it skips and the needle jumps from one groove to the other. And after it skips and the needle jumps, the record plays smoothly. And you can finish the song and appreciate it and enjoy it. He's saying he really, really loves being able to, now what he's showing me is, maybe so that I can understand, a big hand reaching down. There's these, a person walking through this jungle, a big hand reaching down and picking them up. Oops, you're on the wrong walking path. Let's just move you a few inches a few feet to the left. Blunk, and plop you down on this path. There you go. That's much more happier. That's much more joyful. That's much easier. He loves seeing how things fall into place in our lives. He doesn't love seeing when we struggle, of course, but he loves seeing things work out. And he loves to watch us make the correct decisions. Now he's saying that we don't need to pressure ourselves constantly with right or wrong, best decision, worst decision. Could I have done this better? Could I have made other choices? He's saying it all just is. I always get the image of a flow chart when it comes to our life and our decisions. We kind of have one main path, but it can branch off into different little detours and scenic routes. But we still end up always back on the same path. He loves to watch people manifest ease. That word ease comes in. He's showing me something else that's really interesting. That it's him, and I pick up the presence of I'm picking it up as Archangel Gabriel, and perhaps this is just so that I understand what Michael's trying to tell me. But it's him and another angel, and they go, they kind of survey our dreams as well. And he goes in And he's saying that he's like one of the guardian angels that people often think of. Now, I'm being reminded of a prayer that I used to do at bedtime when I was little. And everybody knows that now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. Anyways, we said ours a little bit differently when I was little. At the end, we would say, please send down our guardian angels to look after me while I sleep so I don't have bad dreams. He's saying that one of the things that he loves to do is to protect people from nightmares, or help people to navigate them, and help people to maybe find some kind of wisdom or knowledge that can come from interpreting these types of dreams. And sometimes nightmares are just nightmares. He's saying that there's not always a deeper meaning for every single thing we experience in the dream realm, but oftentimes there is significance. That he likes it when we ask for guardian angels to protect and surround us. He loves this. He loves to protect. I haven't looked at any of these comments. I do want to look. Just Anna saying, I wonder if that's why it's so hard to run in dreams. It is hard to run in dreams. My dreams are starting to become a lot more lucid. So now I'm able to get to the point where, this is going to sound really dumb, but I'm able to like kind of moon jump. In some dreams, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm dreaming. So I can just moon jump to get to where I need to go. It's faster than trying to run. Renee saying that machete equals his sword, and that's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought. I'm just looking at, you guys are so fascinating, like all of your experiences, and this is amazing. Patricia is saying, the process of releasing baggage is ongoing as it comes up to be let go into spirit. It feels so good and freeing. It does. Sometimes in the moment, it is really difficult and it can feel extremely uncomfortable. But afterwards, it does feel good. It does feel better. Now, please don't mind me. Camera's gonna go dark for 2 seconds. I think I have to just clean it a little bit. Is that better? That's better. It was kind of blurry. Let's see if I can get this to focus better. That's okay. Cherry is saying, I'm sure it was him I was hugging in my dream. Couldn't see a face, but he felt so safe and comfortable. Oh, I love that. Sean saying, Michael helps me stay rational instead of reacting in the face of injustice and bullying. Okay, so the next thing I want to ask him about is advice for people during challenging times. So Archangel Michael, what do you have to say regarding what we should do during challenging times? Okay, he's saying, don't take this to sound bleak or anything like this, but Earth is full of challenge. He's saying that we're considering this challenging times, but that humans have always considered this to be challenging times. No matter where they were at in history or in life, they considered it challenging times. He's saying that doesn't make our struggle any less valid or real. Remain present. If nothing else, what brings you joy in this moment? Being told close your eyes, cleanse yourself, and that really big breath kind of just came up out of nowhere, and this is what he means. Cleanse yourself with some really deep, calming breaths. He's saying, allow for my presence to fill you. Because my presence is the presence of all the divine, all that is. Call on my presence, call on the presence of Christ, of Shiva, of Siddhartha Buddha, of Kuan Yin, of Bridget, of Raphael, Sandalphon, Orion, Gabriel, Haniel. We're all the same. We're all of the same source. By calling on me, you're calling on them. By calling on anyone in spirit, you're calling on each of us. Let us fill you with our presence. Let us fill your gaps, your inner holes with our love and our light. As you breathe in, imagine that you are breathing in this beautiful, golden, warm light. And that with each breath out, you are releasing your worry. You are releasing your fear, your dissatisfaction, your doubt. Be present. The past no longer exists. The future has not yet arrived. Neither of these places will leave you where you need to be, which is right here, right now, in reality. Pray for your brothers and your sisters. Pray for yourself and your own healing. Forgive yourself first so that you may be able to forgive and understand others. Learn compassion for the self because it will bleed out into your everyday life and into your everyday connections with the people around you. Allow the spirit of life to breathe through you and flow through you always. Allow love to be your guide. Allow love to dictate what you choose, how you react, how you respond to other people. The desire to hurt yourself is not of the divine. Shame and guilt are not of the divine. We do not cast these things upon you, nor do we cast any form of judgment. You are the judges of yourselves. Remember that when you come to us with anything in your heart. You come to us with valid questions, valid points, come to us for anything and everything, even just to tell us how your morning was. We're here and we care. We're here and we care. Aries is saying, well, Michael, it's hard. I know. It is. It can be extremely hard navigating this whole life thing. It's kind of interesting. Stormcloud is saying, is the divine present in all of our cells, so inside of us, not outside somewhere? The divine is within and without. I'm being reminded of, as above, so below, as within, so without. I'm hearing from Michael, I am present on the inside and the outside. Renee saying we need to transcribe this. Oh, that would be cool. You know what I should do in future is maybe record some channeling sessions and share them with you guys on this channel. I think that'd be really fun. I don't know why my camera is blurry. Is it blurry for you guys? Or is it just me? Maybe it's just my computer. I also don't think it matters 100%. It's not like we have any cards that we need to be seeing the imagery of. Oh, you guys are saying it's okay? It's probably just my laptop display then. No problem. Now, number 3 was his perspective on sickness and healing. Can we heal ourselves? And I was saying that earlier, I kind of felt like the answers came in while I was doing like a little bit of meditation, while I was, just trying to connect with Michael initially. And he was saying that divine intelligence has been coded into our bodies and cells. So we can think of it as being coded. Like he wanted to show me the imagery of like a computer program and how it has a very, complex code to it. And that certain functions are just part of the program. Oh, there's a sound when I touch the microphone. Yeah, I do realize it is quite sensitive. So I'll try not to touch it. Anyways, we have divine intelligence coded into our own bodies and cells. And he's saying that sickness can present many opportunities. So this can include, and he's saying like including but not limited to, discovering our divine healing abilities. So for some people, getting sick or injured is the catalyst that helps one learn something like energy healing or learn other ways of healing the self. Sometimes it's an opportunity for the soul to just experience what it's like for the body to get sick, because sickness has no place in spirit. It's not present there. Sometimes it's to get us to accept and experience compassion and help from other people. And sometimes our sickness, other people can learn from our sickness. Sometimes our sickness is a catalyst for somebody else's growth. He's saying like it's unique to every person, that our bodies do have it coded in us to heal the self. He's showing me like a paper cut first. It starts like something small like a paper cut can heal itself. Then he's showing me a broken bone, where that requires a little bit of help from, a medical professional. Somebody has to set the bone, but then it eventually heals too. And then now he wants me to go back to how other people can learn from a loved one's sickness or from our sickness. This can be a catalyst for somebody else's growth. He's showing me, this is just an example that he's showing me, is a child grows up with a parent who has a chronic illness. The child grows up to be an adult, and perhaps they decide to become a doctor or some other medical professional, or some, work in healthcare, so that they can try and find a way to help others who've been through this illness, or try and find a way to treat it or cure it. Some people learn compassion and patience and caring for another person during a time of illness. He's saying that everybody's experience is unique. Some people it's almost like yes, we can heal ourselves, and some people often do. He's saying that sometimes sickness just has to run its course. And then he's saying that this is not to sound morbid, but sometimes sickness is the catalyst for our crossing over, our transition back into spirit. In some cases. He's saying he doesn't mean to, sound frightening or anything like this. But just sometimes that is how life goes for some people. Sickness provides a lot of, I'm having it shown to me as like learning material. There are so many different lessons that can come from dealing with illness. He's saying suffering can hurt us or it can help us. It's meant to help us to develop a strong compassion for other people and compassion for ourselves as well. My fourth thing on the list here was, will people ever transcend the need for spoken language? Will people ever transcend the need for spoken language? And I think that's a good question. Speech and song are both a divine gift. That if you are able to speak, that you have a gift. If you are able to, now he's saying able to sing, it doesn't mean you have to sound good. You don't have to be on key or anything. As long as you can speak, you can sing. If you can sing, you can speak. This is a gift in itself. However, he's saying that currently we communicate all the time without the use of speech. We use our body language, and we intuitively pick up on other people's body language. Our gestures, our tones of voice, sometimes our breathing can convey a message. He's showing me a deep sigh as opposed to a huff. It can help us to communicate the way that we feel. He's saying that we communicate in so many nonverbal ways that we don't even realize. And of course, there's literally things like sign language in the various, there's ASL, BSL, whatever. But he is showing me something about telepathy. We might consider it telepathy. Maybe that he's just showing me that word so that I understand what he's talking about. Where some people do have, we might consider it mind to mind. He's considering it heart to heart, light to light. That there are many who do, without realizing, communicate in this way. He's showing me that as our planet raises her vibration, each of us individuals, we raise our vibration. A lot of us, maybe choose to develop our clairs, our psychic senses. Maybe some of us don't want to. And some of those people who don't want to, they will still rely on, I think that speech and song and other forms of human communication, those will always be present. And there will, in a sense, always be a need for it, as this is Earth. It's kind of a tangible place. It does require tangible forms of communication. But that, as people raise in their vibration over time, there will be more spirit-to-spirit communication. A lot of people do this without even realizing it. But I am being shown that there are people who even now work together consciously on their telepathy back and forth, or sending images, or trying to send like sensations or thought forms, I think is what maybe they are. Because I'm seeing like it's not necessarily communication in words telepathically, but more like communicating images and feelings. I'm hearing him say cosmic communication will become more commonplace. Communication to the divine will be seen as less and less. Now he's using the words woo-woo because that is a term that some people do use to describe weird spirituality. But at the same time, eventually it will go from being that like weird to just being like, oh yeah, that's just a thing people do. He's saying in the early days of humanity, it was actually kind of like this. He's showing me a time before commonly spoken languages. Different. Now the word is clan that's coming in, so I don't know what culture or what type of prehistoric person that he's showing me, but one clan would have their own forms of communication, essentially their own language. Another clan would have a completely different system. But yet, two people from two different clans could, without understanding each other, maybe verbally, still have this connection psychically and have this sort of understanding of each other. Over time, people kind of, he's showing me like not necessarily lost this ability. It's just that we don't really use it because we have so many things that we use kind of instead. He's showing me social media, he's showing me texting, he's showing me the telephone. That we have all of these ways to communicate with other people now. We don't always have to tap into this like heart-to-heart connection, soul-to-soul connection. We've made it this way so that we don't have to. He's saying it's still the purest form of communication because there's no, when someone conveys to you like feelings or imagery, there's almost no misinterpreting it the way that you could misinterpret someone's tone of voice through email or text. I don't know, I'm hearing something about the word nuance. Perhaps the psychic communication is more nuanced or something. Do you spend time with other angels and deities? That was a question a bunch of people had for Archangel Michael. So Michael, do you? And the overall feeling I'm getting, he's saying the short answer is yes. The long answer is I always get this imagery of hands closing when it comes to like this collective spiritual energy out there. That we're all connected. They are all connected. They spend time with each other. They are each other. In a way. That sounds really weird, but that's what he's saying to me. We spend time with each other as we are each other. He's showing me a long table, some kind of feast, a really big supper. And they're all like laughing amongst themselves. And I'm seeing a lot of different deities. Some I know who they are, and some I don't recognize, but I recognize the presence of Archangel Metatron. He's not sitting at the table, but he's floating above the table. I pick up, there's Archangel Michael, there's the Angel Sandalphon, there's Raphael, there's Jesus Christ, there's Buddha, there's, like I was saying earlier, Kuan Yin. I'm seeing Osiris, I'm seeing Anubis, I'm seeing Thoth. I'm seeing so many different angelic beings. And then I'm seeing a couple that they're taking on a human form. And I don't really know who they are. Picking up the word elders. I don't know. But he's just showing me, Michael is just showing me like this fellowship that they have. They celebrate their unity. They share ideas. They discuss love, compassion, empathy. They formulate plans together for each individual's life. Now they're using me as an example. That there are times in my life where I'm seeing this as Michael, I'm seeing Metatron, I'm seeing Jesus. I'm seeing a few others. I'm seeing also like a couple of ancestors. That just makes it sound like they're from so long ago, but people, loved ones that I had in my family that I knew who are now in spirit. They get together and they're like, okay, what sort of blessing should we create and put on her path? Or it's like, I'm also picking up, she's been thinking about this a lot lately. How do we manifest this? Or how do we help her to manifest this? They kind of discuss these things, how to help us through life. Seems that they do spend a lot of time together. They are each other. Yeah, Brenda puts it nice, like a board meeting. The last thing that I want to ask Archangel Michael is, what do you like most about humans? What do you like most about us? Oh, people. Oh, and Little Sparrow saying, do they ever meet up with high vibe aliens like blue avians, I wonder? And Michael is sort of like, he's sort of smiling. Now it's weird. I haven't really been able to see his face. But you know when you can sort of feel when somebody's smiling? Like that sounds weird. But, excuse me. This is just, because I look at him, the form that he's showing up to me in this entire time is kind of like a humanoid figure. Maybe because how I expected to see him, I don't know. But he has this like gold aura around him. Definitely the color gold is like, that really, really comes in strong. Gold and white. Red, a little bit. And I can't see his face. It's all just white light. I can't see it. It's just this golden white, brilliant light. And yet I can feel that he's smiling. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear, but they're doing construction just outside. So if it gets a little bit noisy, that's all it is. No big deal. I'm used to the sounds. I just didn't want it to bug you guys. You know, he loves our curiosity. He loves that we are always asking questions and that we are always trying to learn things. He's showing me the image of a little kid, probably about age 3 or 4, constantly asking mom and dad questions. How does this work? How does that work? Why am I here? Where did I come from? Or what are you doing? What does this mean? What does that mean? And Michael's saying he loves this when we ask questions about our reality and our universe and our lives. Excuse me. He loves our curious nature because it is our job here to come here and grow. He's saying, like, when we are questioning our world and our universe and our reality, that we're behaving just as we're meant to. And he's saying it shows intelligence. He's saying divine intelligence. We are full of divine intelligence. He says he loves our innocence. And I know that might sound weird because, people are capable of some really crazy things. And that doesn't sound too innocent. But what he means by our innocence is when we come to Earth, we tend to forget. It's almost like a mind wiping of a lot of our pre-birth memories, our life and spirit, those memories, or our past life memories, or all the spiritual wisdom. We're supposed to get back in touch with these things as we go along through life and remember. But yeah, it's this forgetting and this almost like starting from scratch. He considers that our innocence. And he loves this about us. He wants us to know that empathy is human nature. That our light and our dark, our empathy and our greed, our compassion and our selfishness, it's all part of the human package. And he loves it when people are kind to each other completely unprompted. When people do things to help each other without the expectation of anything in return. Or they help each other just because, oh, I see you need help and this is the right thing to do. He says that we all have love in our hearts and he likes to see this. Even the people who live in the most darkness, they still have love in their hearts. They just haven't been in touch with it in a long time. He sees each of us as almost like little colored lights. I'm getting the image of this toy I used to have when I was a kid, a Light Bright. And it was like a projector almost. Like I had the kind, you could get a kind that was just like a screen. And then I had this really awesome kind. It was a cube. And so each side had, it was like black and it had like little holes in it because there's these tiny little bulbs that you would insert into the holes. And you could make patterns and pictures and all kinds of beautiful art with this Light Bright. And this is what I'm being shown, that we, as individuals, as people, are those tiny little bulbs of different colors, different energies, different life paths, different purposes, different personalities. He loves the variety. And another thing he's showing me is, if the Light Bright imagery is not resonating with some of you, he's also showing me the imagery of a quilt. Almost like the one behind me here. We are each a colorful patch on the quilt. And what connects us is the thread of life, of existence. There's something about he just likes watching us. Sometimes he just likes to the way I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, I guess, so that I would understand, is looking down at this earth and watching us run around and do our little daily things. And it's almost like, oh, look at them go. That's seriously what's come in, is, oh, look at them go. Almost like, now he's showing me, we might see it as like watching an ant farm. And we become attached to each of the little ants that we're seeing. And they are going about their business and their lives, and they have their own purposes and their goals and their stuff to do. He's saying there's so many different analogies to make. Another one that he's showing me is a parent watching their kids playing, or a teacher watching the kids in their classroom helping each other and getting along and playing together. He loves it when us people are kind and loving to each other and help each other, because he's like, yes, you remember. And he's showing me this imagery again with the hands clasped. You remember that you're all connected. He also loves children. Children are extremely important to him. Because, there's just like that, I don't know what it is. And maybe it's some of the reason why some of us like children. They're cute, usually. They say a lot of profound things without even realizing it. They are funny. Sometimes they're just innocent. Sometimes they're silly. They make mistakes, but they're just so in the moment that they don't really dwell on it. It's like they fall down, scrape their knee, they cry about it a little bit, then it gets better, and then they're like, okay, whatever, back to playing. They don't spend the rest of the week dwelling on their scraped knee. Whereas adults tend to do that, except it's not scraped knees. It's usually other stuff. He loves our desire to grow and our desire to just keep moving forward. And our resiliency, like, it doesn't matter what comes our way. People always find a way to rebuild and continue. And again, I'm being shown this ant farm kind of imagery. Maybe somebody comes along and shakes up the ant farm, and all of the tunnels and all their little system collapses. But they get right back to work. They're just like, okay, let's do it again. And he's saying that people are kind of like this too. And I really love this. Now I got to look at some of you guys' comments. Like cute kittens. Maybe he sees us like that too. Somebody's saying elephants think humans are cute. I actually read that somewhere. Didn't they do a study? Somehow. Sean is saying they have done EEGs of elephant brains, and their maternal centers of the brain light up when shown people doing stuff. And you know what? I like that, because I think elephants are adorable. They are actually beautiful creatures. And I like that they have a mutual love for people as well. Thanks, honey. My sweet man brought me my lighter. I texted him from across the house like an hour ago, and I didn't really, I didn't know if he had his phone charged or anything. I honestly didn't expect him to look at it. I just wanted to light my cinnamon because it's, one, smells amazing, two, attracts abundance, an abundance of love, joy, peace, wisdom. It can attract material abundance. But today I want to attract a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of compassion and love from our Archangel Michael. Also, cinnamon just smells so, so good. It really does. All right. And that was our channeling session of Archangel Michael. I'm going to just go ahead and put the cinnamon right in there and let it burn by itself. I highly recommend burning cinnamon. Some of you guys are questioning it in the chat, and I recommend it because it smells great. It makes your house smell like baking. It has so many wonderful magical properties. It cleanses your space and like attracts abundance, like I was saying. It's wonderful. I should do a whole video on like these magical properties of cinnamon. I really should. But anyways, you guys, that was the channeling session with Archangel Michael. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you to Archangel Michael for coming in and talking to us. This was really amazing. I would love to channel him again in future. I would love to do all kinds of videos on this. I would love to actually get a little bit better at channeling. Or just more confident with it. And then I would love to make videos to help you guys with learning how to channel and to help you guys to connect with angels and guides and stuff like that. All right. So with that, remember to like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical if you have not already done so, because if you do, you can get more streams like this, more posts, more videos, more fun content like that. Thank you so much for watching. And I wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Love and light to all of you. Okay, bye-bye.